Martin Asiedu-Dartey.
And I am Ayisha Yakubu. Coming up, the top stories.
News360 Headlines is brought to you by
Flamingo Paint,
Pepsodent Charcoal and Pepsodent Herbal,
EcoBank.
Former Chief Justice Gertrude Tokonu files case at the High Court against her removal as Chief Justice and to halt the vetting and appointment of Justice Bafo-Boni as her successor.
Also coming up, Energy Minister submits missing ECG containers report to Attorney General for further investigation and possible prosecution.
And former National Service Authority boss Osiasibe yet to face court as lawyer says he was not served with charges.
Later in business, experts lament lack of forward and backward linkages status of the extractive sector, fueling extreme inequality.
And in international news, Colonel Michael Randre Nirina sworn in as new president of Madagascar days after a military takeover on the Indian Ocean nation. We have the details of these and many more stories, including sports and entertainment, coming up over the next 1 hour. Stay with us for the details.
We are starting from the court and that long winding tale about former Chief Justice Gertrude Tokonu. Now, she has gone back to court and has filed a case at the High Court against her removal as Chief Justice. She is also seeking to halt the vetting of the Chief Justice nominee, Paul Bafo-Boni. In her latest suit, the Chief Justice is questioning the work of the Poorman Committee, which investigated petitions calling for her removal. She argues that the committee's actions and recommendations were unlawful and should be declared null and void. Justice Tokonu also wants the court to quash the presidential warrants dated the 1st of September 2025, which officially removed her from office. In addition, she is asking for an order to stop the appointment of a new Chief Justice until the case is fully determined. And you'd recall that a few months ago, when all of this started, she had gone to court a number of times trying to seek a reversal of the entire process, to the extent that she even went to the ECOWAS court at some point in time. Well, as of yesterday, what we do know is that she has asked the court to review, this time the High Court, to review and declare as null and void the entirety of what has gone on, which has led to her suspension. Let's speak to private legal practitioner Austin Bracco Powers, who's also followed this particular issue quite closely. Thank you for your time this evening, Mr. Bracco Powers.
My pleasure, my brother. I hope you are doing well.
Very well, thank you. What are your initial thoughts on the fact that after several court cases, and petitions which have been determined already, the Chief Justice still doesn't want to go down without a fight? This time, she's saying that even her successor should not be vetted because she believes she was unjustifiably taken out of office.
I think, Martin, largely, if you will notice, if you follow the trajectory, you will notice that this is part of the checklist of the Chief Justice to bring sanity and to make sure that the right thing is done. I have said in the beginning that the processes triggered to get her out at issues. And I think she's just trying to get the right thing done. We should not falter, because whatever she's doing for the entirety of Ghanaians, so that tomorrow someone else who may be given the opportunity to occupy that particular office will also benefit from her work. I think she's doing the right thing, even though she believes that the president has a constitutional duty under Article 146 to set up a committee. She believes the right thing must be done. And for me, I think this is the right process she must do. We need to get to the bottom of this. The fact that she had been given a warrant of removal should not bring closure to the matter. We must get to the bottom of it and evaluate whether the allegations, so-called allegations made against her. In fact, Martin, if you've read Action, the suit she just filed, you will notice a lot of things, a lot of claims that she has made. Which, for me, if those claims are anything to go by, it's those claims raise key questions about the work of the committee, the Article 146 committee. And for me, any court interested in justice, interested in making sure that justice is not only manifestly seen to be done, but justice is done, would have to go into this matter and deal with the matters as they are until we get to the bottom of it for everybody to be settled with that, whatever outcome we may have.
Right.
So for me, it is a good
But Mr.
cause.
Bracco Powers, are you of the view that there was something done illegally in the entirety of the process? Like you're referencing some of the reliefs she's seeking. Is it that you believe some unjustifiable actions were taken against her because from all the initial proceedings and up until now that she's still fighting it legally? Of course, that's her right. We do not nobody has been able to state which specific aspects of the law that either the president or the committee that was set up to look into it have breached.
But the thing is that we've hammered this time and over that the threshold used by the Article 146 committee to fault the Chief Justice was too low. In fact, they lowered the threshold. Because you see, when you are looking at stated misconduct or stated misbehavior, in fact, the threshold was lowered and it was then left to the discretion of the committee. Martin, let's not lose sight of the fact that the claims leveled against her, some of them, they are trivial cases. In fact, I have said it, that this committee was set up to do just one thing, to justify the removal of the Chief Justice. And that's what they did. Because if you are to interrogate the allegations leveled against her with an objective mind, you would conclude that, in fact, those allegations do not warrant the removal of the top Chief Justice, in fact, the top judge of a country. In fact, we are not talking about a district court judge or a circuit court judge. We are talking about the top judge.
So at least on the face of it, you are even questioning the committee's report that, gave the president the final go-ahead to remove her. You think that the concerns or the petitions that were raised did not merit the removal of the foremost judge in the country, which is the Chief Justice?
Martin, the thing is that one, the allegations do not warrant the removal of the Chief Justice. Two, in fact, the Chief Justice, when you look at the way she was handled by the Article 146 committee, I can tell you with honesty that they didn't do their best. They didn't, in fact, give her adequate facilities to advance her case. Thirdly, Martin, the lawyers of the removed Chief Justice said they submitted documents to rebut some of the claims, but the committee refused to take into consideration those documents rebutting the claims. Thereby arriving at conclusions based on what they have.
Thank you. Thank you. Clearly, certainly this is a new twist in the tale that we have all been following very closely, and certainly we'll be engaging you in the coming days as we all seek to get further understanding of this. Austin Bracco Powers is a private legal practitioner. Thank you for your time.
We're staying in the courts because former executive director of the National Service Authority, Asiedu-Dartey, is yet to have his day in court. His lawyer notified the Accra High Court that he was not served with the charge sheet or the hearing notice. He's facing 14 counts of offences, including stealing, causing financial loss to the state, and money laundering to the tune of over 600,000 cedis. My colleague Lord Edward Sari reports.
When the case was called on Friday, October 17, lawyer for the former director of the National Service Authority, who showed up in court unrobed, told the court that he had been called only an hour prior to the case and hence had to rush to the premises. Pa Kwesi Kubwaji explained that due to the late notice about the hearing of the case, Asiedu-Dartey could not make an appearance since he was in Kumasi. He further asserted that Asiedu-Dartey reports to investigators in Kumasi every Monday but comes to the NIB on the first Monday of the month. Director of Public Prosecutions, Yvonne Atakro-Bobisa, leading the prosecution, indicated that the charge sheet had been filed but did not have a hearing date and was unaware that the case had been scheduled for Friday. She added that the charge sheet as well as the facts would be served on the former director and that he will be informed in time when a hearing notice is issued. Additionally, the Director of Public Prosecutions prayed the court for an order compelling Asiedu-Dartey to report to the NIB in Accra instead of Kumasi. Presiding Judge Kizita Kwashi then ordered that Asiedu-Dartey report to the NIB in Accra on Monday, October 20. In the matter of his deputy, Gifty Owari Mensah, when the case was called, her counsel, led by Gary Nimakon, presented a medical excuse duty which stated that she had been detained at the hospital. The prosecution then prayed for an adjournment following the development. Justice Audrey Kokuvute adjourned the hearing to Wednesday, October 22, after noting her displeasure at the turn of events.
Still on legal matters, lawyer for Kwabena Edubuahin, the former National Signal Bureau's director, has described the third accused as having double standards after she agreed to be a prosecution witness. The High Court discharged Mildred Donko after the prosecution filed a notice of withdrawal, dropping all charges against her. Another report by Lord Edwasari.
Mildred Donko, who is a former director of Advantage Solutions Limited, the company allegedly used by Edubuahin to move the 49 million Ghana cedis to buy landed properties in Accra, Kumasi and London, as well as other properties, was facing the charge of conspiracy to launder money and a substantive charge of money laundering. She had pleaded not guilty and was on bail. In court on Friday, October 17, prosecution led by Deputy Attorney General Dr. Justice Remsai informed the court of a new development which constituted the withdrawal of charges leveled against the third accused, Mildred Donko, citing Section 59 of the Criminal Procedure Code 1930, Act 30. But counsel for the former National Signals Bureau boss, led by Samuel Atachia, objected to the method in which the Deputy Attorney General dropped the charges. He averred that, due to the far-reaching nature of the charges leveled against Mildred Donko, the Deputy AG ought to have filed a motion for the court to make a determination. In his ruling, however, Justice Nyante dismissed the objection, explaining that the Attorney General has the constitutional mandate to prosecute or withdraw cases without the consent of the court. The court subsequently discharged Mildred Donko as the third accused person in the trial and expunged her name from the records. Lawyer for the third accused, Elikpili Magbamava, expressed satisfaction at the decision of the court, rehashing his client's innocence.
Grateful to the court, for discharging my client. Generally, upon receiving the brief, I always believe that there was a total lack of mens rea, to commit a crime. If you see, my client was not mentioned as being part of the crime of stealing. Her name only appears in count, I think 11 or 12 or so.
10, 11.
10, 11, yes. So it's pretty clear that in terms of the formation of whatever has gone wrong, she was not part of that conclave, to decide on anything.
But, reacting to the development, Samuel Atachian described Mildred Donko as being two-faced.
I never knew that there's a lady who was capable of double standards. I never believed that somebody would say that, oh, my mouth is in another man's kitchen, but today, for the sake of my freedom, I'm going to betray that person. But what is he going to betray us with? That's the whole point of the matter. What does he know that if he should come into the public space, the case will go against us? We are not scared about it. But you see, the obvious lofty prostitution is what should worry the Attorney General. The Attorney General is comfortable with a woman who will speak with two mouths. We'll see how she will fare under cross-examination.
The trial resumed with the prosecution calling on its second witness, the Director of Finance at the National Signals Bureau, whose evidence-in-chief was examined.
The case has been adjourned to October 23rd and 24th for the continuation of the evidence-in-chief by the Director at the National Signals Bureau, who is the prosecution's second witness. We'll see how things will pan out as this case continues. Lord Idwasari, News360 News.
Moving on, government is preparing to prosecute culprits in the ECG missing containers saga. This comes at a time when the Energy Ministry reports 1,500 of the retraced containers have been cleared from the port. George Queenie reports the sector minister is confident that the law will take its course to bring all perpetrators to justice.
In March this year, some containers belonging to ECG were reported missing. Some months down the line, the ministry has accounted for some 2,600, with 1,500 cleared from the port so far. In the award of this contract, John Abdullah Jinapo questioned why a board threshold of 3 billion cedis bloated to 9 billion cedis. The energy minister was emphatic that persons found culpable would be prosecuted.
The taxpayers' money must be accounted for. Nobody would allow this in his or her company. We shouldn't have been there. If ECG was your company and you were the shareholder and you invested money in it, and your management came to tell you that they've awarded contracts about 9 billion when the board approved contracts for just about 3 billion. It's been a very, very difficult task. But like I said, we should never go that path again. And as minister, I will not tolerate that. If it happened in the past, it must not happen today. We've handed the full document to the Attorney General. He's studying it. And if people are found culpable, I'm very confident that the law will take its course. We are not victimizing anybody. We are doing what is right and what is proper.
Managing Director of ECG, Julius Pepena, said the power distributor has managed to keep the lights on and also cut unnecessary expenditure.
We are well on the way to spending significantly below the approved budget this year. I have been in ECG and associated with ECG for over 30 years, but this will be the first time ECG is spending below the budget.
John Jinapo also engaged management and staff of Water River Authority, VRA, where he disclosed the need to acquire more power plant for VRA, but at affordable and competitive prices.
Demand is increasing, and demand is projected to hit about 8,000 by 2040 thereabouts. Are we going to bring IPPs to fill that 4,000 megawatts gap? And are we going to pass all that cost onto the consumer? We certainly cannot do that.
We also will ask that you support us to also increase our portfolio as the demand of the country increases, so that we may at least have about 75 to 85% of the installed capacity of this country to continue to support the economy of this country and also to ensure we have a reliable power for the country.
Meanwhile, Ghana is saving in excess of $300 million after renegotiation deals with independent power producers. George Quaden, TV3 News, Accra.
If you do the economics, and today you look at how much we pay to IPPs every month, if we're taking a bold decision and decide that, look, the tariffs we are charging today, let's escrow those amounts into an account.
Now, starting January next year, the Driver and Vehicle Licensing Authority will be in re-registration of all existing vehicles. The exercise will involve the issuance of new vehicle number plates with enhanced security features. Let's mount this report.
The Driver and Vehicle Licensing Authority DVLA, as part of the Resetting Ghana agenda, has championed several reforms, making its services to the public seamless. The latest reforms include the compulsory replacement of number plates of all existing vehicles, while new vehicles to be registered will automatically qualify for the new enhanced number plate. Following the government's resolve to introduce toll collection systems on some roads, the proposed number plates to be issued by the DVLA have been designed to conform to the automated security features of the yet-to-construct toll booths.
This time, for us to ensure that we control the numbers, the service will be on request. So you send us electronic request. We will give you an appointment to come with your vehicle for the registration to be done, so that we have orderly registration. And we're going to have more registration centers so that it is easy for people to access the service.
Chief Executive Officer of DVLA, Julius Nikwe Kote, indicated that the acquisition of the number plates will come at a slightly increased fee within the parameters of the Fee and Charges Act. He charged the public to avoid middlemen in the re-registration process.
We are not paying for re-registration. We are paying for only the number plates. Currently, we pay 118. That's 118 Ghana cedis. But because now more security features are going to be added to this one, it is highly possible it will go up a little bit, maybe to 130 or maybe to 120. We don't know, but we'll engage and let the public know the exact or specific amount they are supposed to pay. And no one should pay more than that. And don't go and pass through any Guru boy. Come to DDLA. We are opening our services. We are opening more branches.
Different number plates will be issued to commercial motorbikes known as Okada and private ones. The issuance of the new number plates will commence in January next year. However, to avoid rush and overcrowding of registration, an arrangement has been made for already registered vehicles to phase out their old number plates when they apply for renewal of roadworthy certificates.
And now, Ghana has signed a memorandum of understanding with the government of Grenada to facilitate the recruitment of Ghanaian nurses to work in Grenada. The agreement aims to strengthen the healthcare systems of both countries while promoting cultural exchange and knowledge sharing in the medical field.
Prime Minister Dickon Mitchell is in Ghana a second in the last 2 years as he traces his maternal lineage to Ghana. The two-day state visit offered the two countries an opportunity to further relations in areas of mutual interest such as political cooperation, trade and knowledge sharing. Moments after the credentials in bilateral meetings, the two leaders engaged in a luncheon. Moments thereafter, Ghana's foreign minister Samuel Okudzeto Ablakwa signed an agreement on behalf of Ghana, while his Grenadian counterpart Joseph Andel signed on behalf of Grenada. President Mahama emphasized the mutual cooperation between the two countries, assuring Prime Minister Dickon of Ghana's support in areas of mutual interest. The president noted that the memorandum of understanding will help address the healthcare needs of both nations while supporting Grenada's health sector priorities.
In the health sector, Grenada's interest in recruiting Ghanaian nurses and allied health professionals presents a valuable opportunity for structured collaboration between our two countries. Ghanaian health workers have gained international recognition for their professionalism and their compassion, and we're keen to explore arrangements that address both our national needs and Grenada's health priorities. In education, we can develop partnerships through teacher exchanges, student mobility, and research collaboration.
Prime Minister Dickon was full of praise for Ghana's rise in world democracy and its sterling leadership and its continental drive, ensuring trade liberalization among its peers.
We've asked for 30. The MOU is for a 2-year period that allows it to be renewed. But I think it's important to emphasize that currently our needs are probably more than what we're asking for. This obviously is the start of it, and we look forward to the partnership growing and fledgling. I should point out we are in the middle of commencing the construction of a brand new state-of-the-art hospital. And based on the preliminary indications, we would need significant capacity to make sure that this venture is successful. Thank you.
News this evening, 15-year-old Beatrice Larry Damego, Speaker of the West Mamprusi Children's Parliament, symbolically took over the role and administrative duties of Youth Empowerment Minister George Opare-Addo. This comes on the back of a Girls Takeover campaign, an initiative designed to empower young girls to aspire to leadership positions.
Beatrice engaged the minister and received briefings from the ministry's Deputy Director on Strategies to safeguard girls from harmful practices. The Wale Wale Model School student used the platform to highlight the challenges confronting girls in her municipality and call for urgent interventions.
Child marriage is also one of the problems we face. Some families or some clans still think it's a tradition. So they marry off their young girls to older men, sometimes younger men, and it's really disturbing. So if there would be more sensitization and education, really be good.
Girls Takeover campaign is a global initiative by Plan International aimed at giving girls the platform to explore leadership roles in politics, business, media and civil society, while amplifying their voices in national development. She also appealed to the government to construct befitting classrooms for dilapidated schools in the region to encourage girls' enrollment.
In my municipality, I attend a girls' school, and it is the only girls' school in my municipality. So, it doesn't have a building. We are being housed by another school. So, if you could get the GS to build a school for us to enable more girls to be enrolled in the school and trained to be future leaders, it will really help improve the confidence of girls in my municipality.
The future of many young girls continues to be threatened by child marriage, teenage pregnancy, drug abuse, and limited access to education and leadership opportunities. Minister Giorgio Parreado acknowledged the concerns raised and assured the ministry's readiness to collaborate with stakeholders to address the barriers affecting girls, especially in rural communities.
It is an act of wickedness for any father or mother to sit idle and allow her child who is less than or who is not of age to be put out or to be forced into marriage because of poverty or whatever reasons. It's not right. And so I believe as a ministry we will be more than willing to partner with the various international organizations to fight this.
After her engagement with policymakers, Beatrice urged duty bearers to make communities safer and provide equal opportunities for girls to flourish.
And our Media General has launched its first digital dialogue under the theme Combating Misinformation in the Digital Age. The event also marked the official launch of the Africa Digital Festival, a major initiative aimed at fostering collaboration and innovation to address the growing challenge of false information across the continent.
We stand at an inflection point in human history. Never before has information traveled so fast, reached so far, or influenced so profoundly. In Ghana alone, we have over 24 million internet users, with social media penetration exceeding 8 million active users. According to recent studies, false information spread 6 times faster than the truth on social media. In our own media landscape here in Ghana, we've seen how a single false tweet of a doctored video can destroy decades-old reputations in minutes, and how conspiracy theories can undermine critical national agenda.
Those were the words of Group's Chief Executive Officer of Media General, Beatrice Agyemang, as she officially opened the first of 4 digital dialogues organized by the media conglomerate. A panel discussion explored the causes and consequences of misinformation in Ghana, also saying that the fight against misinformation must begin with both education and accountability. General Manager of Digital at Media General, Sana Kwashi, spoke about the importance of involving stakeholders in policy making.
What we are trying to do with that is to help shape policy for every single thing that's happening in the digital space, right? I believe strongly that digital in Africa has come of age, and I want us to look at the festival as sort of our African Digital Coming of Age Party. It's where we are looking at converging every single person that matters in making policy, but also the different stakeholders. So you, the consumers, the people that are working in the media space, the fintech people who are building new apps. You know, there are new apps coming that BOG is trying to catch up with regulation on, because the technology is moving faster, and then we have to get policy and laws to move and get close to it.
Held in partnership with the African Media and Digital Media Alliance, the event brought together journalists, digital entrepreneurs, fact-checkers, and technology experts to discuss one of the defining challenges of the digital era, misinformation and disinformation.
Now, Cargill Ghana has commissioned a state-of-the-art ICT laboratory for the Nyinehini Salem Model Basic C School in the Ikwimamponia district of the Ashanti region. The facility aims to bridge the digital divide between rural and urban schools and promote ICT education among pupils.
The new project forms part of Cargill's broader effort to promote responsible manufacturing and reduce its carbon footprint. With the launch of the wastewater treatment plant, the company can now treat and reuse 100% of its wastewater in-house. This innovation conserves water, reduces environmental impact, and ensures all treated water meets Environmental Protection Authority standards for reuse in landscaping and other non-portable purposes. Cargill has also introduced a baghouse filtration system that eliminates visible emission from factory operations, improving air quality for employees and neighboring communities. Managing Director of Cargill Ghana, Max Esolat, spoke about the vision behind the commission.
Our purpose is to nourish the world in a safe.
The newly commissioned ICT laboratory is part of Cargill Ghana's commitment to improving ICT education.
We believe that sustainable development starts with education. Here in Hineni, we have some operations of cocoa sourcing. So we wanted also to give back to that community that have been so great to us. So in that sense, we decided to open this computer lab to give the children an opportunity to thrive.
The District Human Resource Director, Eko Annan, who represented the District Education Director, commended Cargill Ghana for the initiative.
Yeah, the performance has not been what we expect because they don't have well-equipped lab as we have here. And this one is a standard one that in the district. And I hope next time round, all the NGOs who will come, this has raised the bar. So when they come, they'll look at this and then replicate.
The head teacher of Nyinahen Salem Model Basic School, Owusu Solomon, also expressed appreciation to Cargill Ghana.
Within the district, we don't have this kind of ICT lab. So it will be a lot to us and to help us immensely to help them in their academics in learning and then even their BEC.
A pupil expressed excitement about the opportunity to learn computer skills.
It has helped us, the students. It has helped us in typing. With this, my friend sitting beside me knows how to type, so she will also teach me with all those things.
Cargill Ghana continues to demonstrate its commitment to promoting quality education and equipping the next generation with digital skills essential for the future.
Still watching News 360 on TV3. We are right back after this break with business, sports and entertainment. Stay with us. Welcome to News 360. Let's do business now. The persistent failure of the extractive industry, including mining, oil and gas, to generate broad-based economic benefit has been branded a key driver of extreme inequality, with experts warning that the sector is operating as a destructive enclave industry. The core of the problem, analysts argue, is the minimal presence of economic linkages between the massive extractive operations and the rest of the domestic economy. There is more in this report.
An extractive industry is considered an enclave when it exists in isolation, disconnected from local suppliers and downstream manufacturers. This detachment prevents the wealth from filtering down into the wider economy as a result of its weak backward and minimal forward linkages.
You find out that most of our extractive industry, we exploit gold, diamond, and just export. So in other words, job creation is zero. That is very bad because the resources or the income goes to a very few people. And the more we extract, the greater the inequality.
Board member of the Integrated Social Development Center, ISODEC, Professor Joseph Sarr Dito, has urged stakeholders to directly confront the enduring paradox of mineral wealth coexisting with widespread poverty and environmental degradation in the region.
What can the government do about it? We can learn from other countries. When you get the extractive industry, you make sure that infrastructure is put very well, especially in the areas that provide the resources. We must make sure that they get infrastructure. The second major area that we also discuss a lot is that people, beneficiary communities, must benefit from it.
Executive Director at ISODEC, Sam Dancy, highlighted next steps to be taken in addressing the mineral wealth paradox.
We would actually have some policy prescriptions for the African Union, policy prescriptions for ECOWAS, and also policy prescriptions for countries, especially Ghana. We will also have some engagement meetings with parliamentary select committees looking at natural resource issues and to see how we can actually have government actually address these things. More often than not, some of the prescriptions are actually built on what I call bilateral investment treaties. And these bilateral investment treaties have never actually unlocked the potential where inequalities can be addressed.
The high-level West Africa Conference was on the theme Equity in Extraction, addressing inequalities in natural resources governance, critical mineral resources, and climate change.
In more business news this evening, the Association of Ghana Industries has warned that government's 24-hour economy policy could falter unless urgent steps are taken to equip the workforce with critical technical skills. The flagship initiative aims to extend economic activities beyond the conventional working hours, driving productivity and job creation across key sectors.
By enabling continuous operations in manufacturing, logistics, retail and services, the policy seeks to reduce underemployment and boost Ghana's global competitiveness. It also hinges on improvements in infrastructure, energy supply and security to sustain round-the-clock business activity. But speaking to journalists at a stakeholder workshop on the demand-oriented skills system platform, AGI Chief Executive Seth Chuma Kwampwa said the policy's success depends on targeted investment in technical and vocational training.
When you don't have the right skills in industry, you will struggle to achieve that. Part of the reason why China and the rest have become so competitive was that if you take Korea, for example, they emphasized a lot on technical skills development. Technology, innovation, creativity. Because they emphasized on that, they've developed a pool of skills which are always needed in their industry. And in so doing, they're able to upskill and compete throughout the world.
The Demand-Oriented Skills System, or DOS Skills Platform, is a proposed framework to track industry-driven skill requirements, identify gaps, and anticipate future workforce needs.
What are the key skills that the industry needs, as you saw, whether it's on the current and the future demand? So the whole idea would be to take those skills and dig a little deeper and go back to the industry and said, if we were to work with you to design the curriculum or others on the skill, are they willing to then kind of invest in and put their people for the skills?
That's it for business on News 360. But before we go, let's bring you the latest on the commodities market and see how the cedi is faring with the major trading currencies.
Bill Ishen, the Black Stars have climbed 2 spots in the latest FIFA World Ranking following their impressive performance in the 2026 FIFA World Cup qualifiers. The Tuado's side, who rose by 1 place in the previous update, now sits 73rd globally after a strong showing during the October 2025 international window. Now, Ghana defeated Madagascar 5-0 in Morocco before edging Comoros 1-0 at the Accra Sports Stadium. Results that secured their place at the top of Group I and sealed qualification for the World Cup. Despite their rise in the global standings, the Black Stars remain 14th on the African continent, maintaining their position from the previous ranking. Now, Ghana's Black Queens have been nominated for the Women's Team of the Year at the 2025 CAF Awards. The West Africans were selected for the award after an impressive Women's Africa Cup of Nations in Morocco this year, where they finished the tournament as bronze medalists. Meanwhile, Black Queens captain Portia Boache was nominated for Player of the Year. Black Queens goalkeeper Cynthia Conlan has also been nominated for the Goalkeeper of the Year, while Kimlas Björkegren is also in the running for the Coach of the Year. Stella Namiche is in contention for the Young Player of the Year award. Now, let's move to the local stage, where in the Ghana Premier League, match day 6 continues as Nations FC will play against Struggling Dreams FC, and Mediama, who got back to winning ways during the previous game week, would also take on Samatex at the TNA Park, while maintaining that hope of staying their grip at the top of the league table. Now, here are the coaches of Mediama and Nations FC looking ahead to match day 6.
This season, all the teams are prepared very well. So, and it's not always that you have to dominate and then win the matches. Sometimes you play not so good, but you win. I think it's a part of process, and the league is so long. And I think we will keep on working hard so that even if it's 1-0 or 2-1 like the last time, I think it's enough for us. We are playing home. We are going like any game. And that we play here, we want to dominate, we want to set the pace. And I think how we train this week and the inclusion of these 2 players that are coming, definitely we are stronger, and I hope that our game will flow like the way we are playing.
It's going to be one of our toughest games because they've not won a league since we started the league. And playing at their home, they'll do whatever it takes to get at least a point. So it's going to be very tough, very, very tough. They are playing well, but it's unfortunate they are not scoring. So it's not going to be easy at their own home ground. So it will be one of our toughest games that we're going to play. Each team going to a match, going for a win. So we're also planning to go for a win. We are not going to participate for participating sake. So we also plan to go for a win.
That's it for the sports segment here on News 360. My name is Billy Shen. There's more on the bulletin after the break.
In my line of work, a confident smile is everything. Kale Charcoal Toothpaste keeps me on top of my game and ensures my smile is always radiant and bright.
With the tiring nature of my job, we spend several hours under the scorching sun. To keep our teeth white and our breath fresh all the time, we use none other than Kale Charcoal Toothpaste. Kale Charcoal Toothpaste. You're on a case.
entertainment.
Well, good evening and welcome to the entertainment news segment here on News360. My name is Noella Donko. Now, the Greater Accra region last captured the GMB crown in 2020, represented by Na Dede Butchie. Now, Ajoko, a proud daughter of Teshi, is on a mission to bring the coveted title back home. Now, the vibrant and determined contestant told 3 Entertainments that nothing will stand in her way of seizing the ultimate crown.
Once upon a time in Osu, a respectful chief named Ni Kwabena Bone III rose not just as a traditional leader, but a true son of Ghana. He was bold.
Born Isabella Ajoko Eje, the Teshi native is smart, eloquent and self-motivated.
He started with us and he will surely end with us in a glorious way and a victorious way. We just can't wait. We will do our part as human beings, but God will take the rest. If indeed Greater Accra needs to take the crown this year, this will happen.
Ajoko described GMB as a great grooming platform, noting that it has significantly boosted his self-esteem.
I will say that 1, discipline, 2, the values of our culture and our customs. You would think you know all about it, but you do not know. The more you delve into it, the more you get to know more about our customs and tradition. And I believe that it gives you the opportunity to come out from your own shells. It gives you the opportunity to go beyond your comfort zone.
The Greater Accra region last won the coveted crown in 2020. Now, after 5 years, the Koforidua Technical University graduate heads into the grand finale, hopeful of reclaiming the crown for her people.
Queen Nadede did a massive and a beautiful job, and of which I have tapped into that blessing. We are packing things, we are packing stories, and we are packing glory. Sunday should come, so we bring the unexpected performance. So yes, we are hoping to repeat history again, so we can bring the crown back to Greater Accra region.
Ajoko has already been adjudged a star performer on 2 occasions, thanks to impressive delivery. The self-driven contestant is convinced that absolutely nothing can stop her from going for gold. Thoughts of the coveted crown, the plush car, and the bragging rights drive her to work even harder. It promises to be keenly contested grand finale, but Ajoko is counting on support from a region to turn her dream of winning a GMB crown into reality.
We will do our best so that God can do the rest. Nime, Name, Micheme, Keminyeme, Gadang Baby, Miss Swanley, Mapanyafai, Yahani waka ekome femo, afia ene, kwani wanya waka inkunimieli akeklie, abagadang be ekon, ke ofeo gwefano, ni mihu femi gwefano, mi hiomi yake, inkunimieli eba bawono chon.
But when the unarmed ex-servicemen were killed, Sergeant Sajete.
On that note, do join us at the National Theatre on Sunday for the grand finale of Ghana's Most Beautiful. That's it for the entertainment news segment here on News360. My name is Noella Donko.
Well, international news is up next.
Colonel Michael Randrianirina has been sworn in as the new president of Madagascar days after military takeover on the Indian Ocean nation. He thanked the young people who took to the street for weeks of protest that prompted President Andry Rajoelina to flee the country and led to his impeachment. The ceremony took place at the Constitutional Court in the capital, where a large crowd gathered to watch, including those who spearheaded the demonstrations. The former French colony now enters a transition period which will be full of political obstacles and legal uncertainty, though there is a cautious optimism about Colonel Randrianirina's leadership.
And that's it for, well, that's how we bring the bulletin to an end. Thank you so much for watching. I am Martin Asiedu-Dartey.
And I'm Ayisha Yakubu. The Showbiz 360 is up next with Giovanni Caleb. Enjoy.